breaking news from Washington. The U.S. Homeland Security Secretary says 2 National Guard members have been shot near the White House. The CBC's Katie Nicholson is following this and joins me now from the U.S. Capitol. So, Katie, where are you and what can you tell us?
We're just near Farragut Square here, where this is happening. You might see, so Rafi Bujikanian here very kindly taking my phone. I'm going to show you, this is the area that's all cordoned off here. This is apparently where this shooting happened within the hour. You might hear choppers are sort of flying around here, a bunch of National Guards people over there. My colleague, Katie Simpson, saw one of them go over, a National Guardsman go over to another group of National Guardsmen. It looked like a very somber conversation. What we've been told and what the Homeland Security Secretary, Christine Noem, has said is she's asking people to pray for the 2 National Guardsmen who were shot in this incident. Now, we do understand from the DC police there is one suspect in custody right now. This whole area is pretty much cordoned off, kind of locked down. Huge police presence. As we're walking down this street here, it's all a wall of flashing police cars. We heard as well that the White House is aware of this, that the president is monitoring this situation from Florida, where he is this holiday, Thanksgiving. And that is pretty much what we know right now. And so it's sort of an evolving scene here. We are hoping to get more of a briefing from police fairly soon. But as you can see, National Guard still here, lots of flashing lights, very active scene. And that chopper is just parked right above the square there. This is an area that is just sort of northwest, a few blocks of the White House area. So Treasury Building, number of buildings around here where quite a bit of business of the nation is conducted. It's interesting because this city pretty much empties out around Thanksgiving. Everybody leaves for the holidays. But those who were here today, I mean, there is a bit of a crowd being gathered here. We are being told and pushed back a little bit, it looks like. But it's, to have something like this happen on Thanksgiving weekend, a bit jarring, particularly in a city where so many people have been emptying out and going away. So we are looking for more updates on the status of those 2 National Guards people who were shot. Not an uncommon sight in the city, of course. There have been National Guard deployed all over the city for months now, often at sort of big thoroughfares in this sort of block of the city, high tourist areas, subway stations, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and we're just looking at some live pictures. Well, we're looking at your live shot, and we're also looking at live pictures to the right of our screen where you can see a large number of National Guard, those wearing National Guard uniforms, sort of standing around in another area. You were describing the area, exactly where you are, the proximity to the White House, and just tell us more about, the emergency vehicle presence or the emergency personnel that you're seeing. Yeah.
Rafi, do you want to hop down with me and we can just maybe show the audience at home what's happening here? So, thank you. So this street's all blocked up. We're blocked up to the north, to the south, and then as we came down here, just an enormous presence of police sort of blocking streets. As we were coming here from our office, which is in the National Press Building, which is just 2 blocks away from the White House, we started to hear the ramping up of sirens, a lot of emergency vehicles, the choppers in the skies. So it's quite a convergence here in this area that, as I said before, on Thanksgiving sort of holiday, normally pretty empty, pretty quiet. Obviously, that has changed with this shooting. So we are waiting, of course, to hear more information about the status of those National Guards people. What was the motive? What is this person in custody? What else do they have to impart to us from the police standpoint? But again, we are hearing from Secretary Noem, basically saying that she's calling for prayers for those 2 National Guards people who were shot this afternoon. Just looking around here, Andrew, you can see a line there too of National Guards people sort of standing behind the tape here.
Yeah,
so I mean, we're in a bit of an information vacuum, but this is the scene, and it's blocked off basically all around us, and almost like a cross shape. So all of this major intersection here is completely taped off with yellow tape and also the police cars.
And Katie, we know that the president is in Florida. He is in Mar-a-Lago. Of course, as you say, Katie, many people, this is a time to go home during the Thanksgiving weekend to visit with family. And we're also looking at some live shots of the large presence of ATF police, of National Guardsmen in the streets of Washington, D.C. And this is, as you say, this is what many people who live in D.C. have now gotten used to, is seeing National Guard in the streets of D.C. But this is since Donald Trump became president, and it's a sight that is somewhat new to people in D.C. in the last few months. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, just a few days ago, the president was talking about, he had said, there had been no murders since they had sort of had the National Guard come to D.C. to crack down on crime, that sort of thing. So that is it has become a common sight, though not necessarily a welcome sight. There's been a fair bit of pushback here within the city. The mayor did sort of acquiesce, and they sort of worked hand in glove a bit with the city on some neutral areas, but there were a lot of early on, particularly criticisms about the deployment of the National Guard here. There were questions about, well, what were they actually doing? There was a lot of criticism that they should not have been deployed in this kind of a municipal setting, and that they were not equipped to do the kind of work that, say, a police officer could, that sort of thing. And that is, again, the same sort of pushback that we have seen in other American cities as well. Be that as it may, National Guard have been here for months, and there is an ongoing court battle challenging whether or not they are or should be allowed to continue to work in this role. But that is sort of the political backdrop here, and whether that has anything to do with this shooting at all, we don't know. What we do know is that 2 National Guards people were shot. We don't know anything about them. We don't know their status, but we do know that Homeland Security head Kristi Noem is calling for prayers for them, and that the White House is, as I say, monitoring this situation. The president in Florida, and Katie, I think you can hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just again, more. That just more sirens, more of a sort of a helicopter presence. This is a very live scene, and I mean, we are expecting to get more details about what actually has transpired here. We don't know.
And
we don't know the specifics yet.
Yeah, and Katie, this is from the DC Police Department, that that the Metropolitan Police Department is on the scene of this shooting at 17th and I Street in the Northwest, telling people to avoid the area. You were talking a little bit about some of the controversy around the deployment of the National Guard and what it is that they do in the streets of DC, or that they don't do, because it is still the local police that very much respond to incidents like this, right, Katie? Can you just kind of describe what it is, what duties that the National Guard carry out in DC? Are they there more for show, if you will, just that kind of context?
They have been sort of a presence that has been seen largely as a deterrent. It is a presence that has been, I guess you could say it's sort of been used to calm people who might be nervous to see them here, whereas it's also had an opposite effect on people who live here as well, who are unnerved by the sight of National Guards people in the city, sort of in full uniform at all of these points. I mean, I was walking to a soccer game this summer and saw a very large group of them just along the National Mall, and then towards the major sort of subway entrance near Audi Stadium, that sort of thing. And so that has been unnerving for many people who live here. So it has been obviously a very extraordinarily controversial measure. But again, sorry, it's like we might get a briefing soon, so I don't want to hold the line here. But at the same time, we don't know that those frustrations is connected to the shooting. So don't want to draw too much attention to that until we have the details of, the suspect who's in custody and what may have led up to this shooting. That there is a sort of a tense political backdrop to the presence of National Guards here, but we don't necessarily have a connection between that and what transpired here today with this shooting.
Yeah, and so, Katie, if you have to get out of the way, you let me know. But if there is going to be a briefing, that's obviously something you'll want to also attend to get more information.
I saw a sort of a uniformed, look like somebody who might have some answers just walking by, but I also suspect that we have another crew here.
Okay.
Jump on that as well.
Okay, so just remind us of where you are and what we know at this point.
Yeah, so just off Farragut Square here, so I and 17th, essentially, Connecticut Avenue, this whole area really cordoned off with police tape. Seeing sort of like crushes of media at the four corners. This was an area where National Guard were stationed around Farragut Square, and about an hour ago there was a shooting, or within this hour there was a shooting that involved two National Guards people. We have been told we do not know anything about them or their status right now. We only have some eyewitness reporting from my colleague Katie Simpson, who just saw a couple of the guardsmen talking to each other. What she said seemed to be a somber conversation, but we have no more information beyond that. And of course, the Homeland Security had Christine asking for prayers for these people, and of course, knowing that the White House is monitoring this situation, I would expect something to come from Donald Trump and also the mayor, Muriel Bowser, in short order. So I have to apologize. I don't have my phone. We're using that broadcast, so I can't give you the most up-to-date information as it comes in. But this is what I'm seeing.
You're describing the scene very well for us, and we appreciate your reporting, and we will come back to you soon. That is the CBC's Katie Nicholson reporting live from Washington, D.C. We're going to continue to bring you any more details that emerge on this breaking news.